So I saw this clip on Twitter, and I've seen it a few times of this one show, and I've been meaning to watch it because I was just like, fuck it, I really want to see the context behind this goddamn clip. So I watched a show called Golden Boy.
Oh, yeah. Legendary.
Dub, right?
Absolute I watched the dub.
Of course you have to.
Because I heard the dub and I was like, that sounds really dumb and really funny. I want to watch it. And it
Wait,
did
wasn't
not
the pool scene?
I've seen the pool scene before, and I've seen the bike scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And you've probably seen these floating around on the internet if you've been around long enough. There's a scene that's quite popular that I feel like it does the rounds every few months, where a guy is like dead serious, and then it looks like a serious swimming competition is about to happen. Then he jumps in and goes, for like 10 seconds. And then there's another scene that always pops up you might have seen where a dude is like cycling on electrical wires and then jumps off a cliff. It's like the most insane shit. And I watched it and I was like, God, this is such a good show, unironically.
Oh, yeah.
No, it is.
So
it
good.
is.
And so horny.
And
holy fuck.
I think part of the reason it's so good is the dub's fucking amazing. I think
it's so funnily bad.
Yeah.
Like the main guy is screaming constantly.
Yeah.
I think the main, I'm not sure if this is true, but I think I heard this is like the main guy's only voice acting role in anime.
Really?
And I believe it because it seems like it doesn't sound like he's come from a traditional voice acting background.
It's literally
my life's work.
Like, I feel like it's just because animes are expressive. I think they took that as like, oh my God. So like literally anything happens and he just starts screaming and it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so chaotic.
But it's, the voice acting is just good enough to make it funny when it's bad.
Yeah. Because he like...
Do you want to explain the plot as well?
I can't remember the plot.
Okay, I guess I just watched it.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's about this guy who's traveling across Japan, and he's quite intelligent, but also really dumb at the same time, and very perverted, obviously.
Yeah.
And every single episode kind of centers around a very attractive woman. So he starts a new job,
horny,
and there's always an attractive woman. And they straight up just show titty a lot in this thing. And
yeah, man. It was a different time.
There's a scene with a girl and a motorcycle. And
yes, this girl just nuts on a motorcycle.
Yeah, just in front of this guy.
Like at a gas station, she's like a very attractive, I would describe MILF. And she just nuts from the vibration of the
engine.
motor.
Yeah.
And then it proceeds to get like, proceeds to be a downhill race where he beats a motorcycle and he just jumps off cliffs. And it's the most insane shit. And it's so funny. It's so good. And the whole show is how he goes to these new jobs and these people don't like him, but then he proves to be really good and resourceful, even though he's a massive pervert. And it's just fun. It's like 30-minute episodes that all
unfortunately,
it's
only 6 episodes.
6 episodes.
I wish there was
amazing.
more, but also they used 6 10 out of 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, I was
100%.
laughing, crying at so many points. It's so funny. It's so good. The animation is actually amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It looks insane.
It still looks amazing to this day. Yeah.
There's so many scenes in there. Just I remember so many fucking scenes in there. Just I think the voice acting plays a massive part as well because you never know what to expect.
Oh yeah,
right. We've heard enough.
Subverted my expectations so many times.
Yeah, we've heard enough like anime voice actors to be like, okay, in a comedy anime, this is where the punchline is, or this is what it's going to sound like in XXX. And in Golden Boy, there would just be like this random line that he speaks in the most like out of context.
It feels like half the lines definitely were just added in and definitely weren't there in the original. It's so weird and so fun. But the character's really likable, even though he does like a bunch of weird stuff that normally you'd be like every episode, all the women, he at some point for some reason is cleaning their toilets, and every single episode he starts like kissing the toilets. And then of course the woman always walks in. And it's always just weird how it all kind of plays in. It's all very like
pervy humor.
It's like if Mr. Bean was a massive pervert and could talk.
But
it all
like,
worked out in the end.
I don't mind those kinds of scenes. Like
so fun. It was so good.
If you're gonna make a character like degenerate, go 100%.
Oh yeah.
Because if you make them just a little bit degenerate, you like
because it's so degenerate where you suspend disbelief.
You suspend disbelief to be like this ain't a real person. If you just add like a little bit of it, then sometimes you're just like, man, why you gotta be like that?
It becomes awkward.
Fucking Meliodas, man. Like fucking like you are so fucking close, And then you just had this one little thing, and you're like, why did that that need to be there.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna make something degenerate, just like go 100,
All
like
out.
110%.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with Golden Boy.
So good.
It's so fucking horny, but it's horny to the point where you just don't take it seriously
funny,
anymore,
yeah.
and it just adds to that humor. Like, oh my God.
It's such a good show. Like,
It is
It's
very good.
so worth the watch.
It is pee pee poo poo humor to like the like done to like the finest degree.
Well, it's like pee pee poo poo humor, and then they just show you literally like the sexiest shot ever in anime. Like it's so horny,
Yeah.
and it's so well done. It's insane. It got me thinking. I was like, damn. And every woman in it is like a MILF. And I was like, damn, where did we go wrong with anime? Like in the 90s, it was all about MILFs.
Connor's like back in the good old days.
I've never said this before. I was born in the wrong generation. Straight up. Like they had it right back then. And now it's all shit.
You gotta watch more 90s shows. Man.
Everyone's like a
Yeah.
12-year-old 200 vampire. You know, it's like, what is this shit? Where are the 90s office workers?
The 90s OVA era, man. They had some.
It was
They had some wild
Woo!
things going
It was
on
like
back then.
women
man.
who are hot and work in offices, who are stern and want to beat you up. And I'm like, that's what we need back. I don't want these lolly vampire women. I don't want them. Get rid of them. I want these office workers back.
all these
Fuck
office
yeah,
workers
man.
back.
That's what I
Oh
mean. Good.
Honestly, like it's because here's the thing about something like Golden Boy. I find it so rare to find a comedy anime that actually makes me like laugh.
Oh, it's fucking
Oh, yeah.
hilarious. It's
like,
so good.
I can count on like one hand the amount of comedy anime I think are actually like gut bustingly like funny.
Yeah.
And Golden Boy is one of those shows.
sure.
Oh, definitely.
Because I feel like anime comedy, a lot of the times I find it like really like slapstick,
Yeah.
but I rarely find it like haha funny. It's just like, you know.
I think for the one for me, obviously comedy is subjective, but I think the
Yeah.
ones for me are just like the more absurdist comedy.
Yeah.
Like the ones where it's just like Golden Boy, right? Where it's like you don't know what's happening next.
Yeah.
And it's that like subversion of expectation to like the most ridiculous conclusion that
Yeah.
makes it really like that's why I find shows like Nichijou and Gintama really funny because it's like it does that exact same thing of like you think the joke's going one way and it's just like nope. We're just gonna go complete 180 and just show you the most ridiculous shit, right?
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of like comedy anime, especially nowadays, really struggle to do that because I don't know, maybe because like they're afraid of like alienating their audience. Or
I don't know. I think they've always struggled to do that. Comedy anime are like really fucking hard to find a lot
Yeah.
of the times because a lot of times the joke is, I trip on your panties. Oh, look at me. Oh, I walk into you when you're showering.
Yeah.
Oh no, please. Oh, don't hit me. No. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
All right.
I like I said, if you're gonna go that direction, like one comedy anime or one comedy manga that has made me laugh out loud is like Prison School. That was like back in the day where it's just a bunch of like it's
the most degen shit ever.
Holy shit! It is the definition of boys will be boys, but
like Grand Blue as well as another example.
Oh yeah,
of that.
Grand Blue.
Like Grand Blue.
Fucking hell,
It was the
I-
most
I've
like
not watched
lads manga I've ever read. It's so good.
Never watched Grand Blue.
Oh,
Never watched
it's
Grand Blue?
so funny.
Yeah.
It is the most, that is the most like lad energy manga ever.
Yeah. It's one of the few manga I've ever read that reminds me of an old school, college comedy film. You remember those back in the day when we had like fucking American
Was it
Pie?
like the American Pie of anime?
Yeah, super
Oh,
bad and that kind of thing. But it's like seeing that kind of humor translated in a Japanese lens, I thought was like really fucking interesting. And it's one of the funniest manga I think I've read.
Yeah.
Definitely. Both Prison School and Grand Blue. Just like, it's really, really hard to make me laugh out loud.
Yeah,
But
for
those
sure.
definitely did that.
For sure.